Marcy, welcome to the show. Everybody watching.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Yay. For everybody watching, I am so excited for you to meet Marcy. She is known as the HeartShift Coach, and she is the queen of manifestation. And today we're going to talk about her manifestation story. She also coaches people to manifest, and she's going to show you the magic. And we're also going to give you some tips of how you can do that too.
Absolutely. So true. And I'm just thrilled to be here. Thrilled to be here with you.
What is the law of attraction and how does it impact our lives?
The law of attraction is actually how we are hardwired as co-creators of the universe. All right. This is not something that's really abstract. It's something that is wired within us. And all of the other components of the universe are also wired to work in conjunction for us. So we are the ones that are the creators, and everything else is a responder. So the law of attraction is really a system. It's a system of components, processes that have been created so that we can do what we were meant to do while we're here on the earth. And that is to co-create the world in as high of a vibrational frequency as possible.
When you're in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, all of a sudden everything just starts moving so smoothly and you start flowing so freely. And that's what the law of attraction is. And you explained that perfectly. How did you discover this? Because some people are born knowing the law of attraction. Some people learn it. What's your story?
First off, we are all using it 24/7, whether it's for what feels like our highest good or against us, right? But the truth of the matter is that it's in constant motion. And so the more that we can personally be empowered to utilize it, of course, the more we get what feels like a reward. For myself, I think that it started to really come together for me in pieces when it was back in the early 2000s when I started to look at what had been happening through me. And I suddenly realized that this actually had been going on, and we call them stepping stones, right? But I started to connect the dots and thinking, oh my God, well, that happened when I did this, or that happened when I did that. So I started to notice that there was a lot of cause and effect. But I also started to put the pieces together in terms of it not necessarily being so much of what I did, but who I became every step along the way. And so I realized very early on that what I had been doing was raising my vibrational frequency. And then things started to move into action, into alignment, more in a way that pleased me rather than displeased me. That's when things really started to roll. But for myself also, what happened was it was early like 2006. And all of a sudden, I started to get what I can describe as downloads for products that were law of attraction products. And I used to call them training wheels for people who were just learning how to use these principles. And the first one that was really shown to me was a vision board. And I
actually have one of yours right behind me.
Yes, you do. And it's not nearly full enough. I actually started to notice that.
I'm going to actually like tape this to it so I can interchange my vision board, and I'm going to hang it up in my new closet. I've got a plan.
That's awesome. Because what happened was I started to recognize that these images that I was getting in bits and pieces were these products. Now, Lindsay, I don't know if you know anything about my background, but I'm a registered nurse by education and a spiritualist minister. So I had been working in metaphysics for a long time, but I certainly had no business training. And I knew that I need to bring these products to market. And so it was as if the universe just laid itself at my feet. The moment I said, okay, I'll do this. Well, I started to put these bits and pieces that were coming to me up on my bathroom mirror. And then I needed another mirror and another mirror. And I started to recognize that things happened faster and faster based upon how I felt when I looked in the mirror and I was looking at those things, which is why, as you can see, your vision board that I sent you is actually a mirror. And I realized, because of my scientific background, that our brain is wired to believe that everything we see is real. How do we know that? Well, you can watch a scary movie. You're an adult, you know that that is not real. And yet your palms are clammy, or you're, shaken up, you can't stay in your seat, or you're watching, a sexy movie and you get turned on. It's because we're hardwired for successful manifestation. So what I realized is that all these things that I was putting all around the mirror still kept space for my eyes to make contact with it. And my eyes were activating those manifestations. And to make a long story short, this soccer mom who had no experience whatsoever, in 8 weeks, I had 6 products on the market. I had an office with an assistant. When I started, I couldn't even answer an email.
Oh my gosh.
And within 8 weeks, after that initial start of my business, I was starting to win international awards on my products. And the vision board kit was one of the very first.
I just always knew you had this energy, because I hope people watching can feel it, but when you're around you just know something's there. You feel it. You raise the vibration of the room.
Well, thank you. But the truth is that it raises me, right? Mm-hmm. So the energy raises me. And I've just learned how to harness it in a way that can create instantaneous manifestation. And that's exactly what happened. But there was a ripple effect to it, Lindsay. And that's what was so exciting too, because all of the different partners that I had in bringing all of these pieces together, they started to win awards at their conventions and their conferences. And it was like, oh my God, this is really inspired work. And so I just kept going and going and going. And I'm going to tell our audience right now what the key is, mm-hmm. because I think that this is the most important aspect of manifestation. What I had been doing throughout that whole time was I had been learning how to love myself in a way that I had never given myself permission to before. So when these ideas and images and thoughts would come through, where before I maybe would have said, well, who am I to do that? I don't have any background. I can't do that. I just kept saying yes and asking, how do I align with that? So what I have found is that there is a direct correlation between the amount of self-love that you have and your ability for successful manifestation. If you don't recognize who you are, that you are this incredible co-creator of the universe, that you have all of this energy and power at your disposal, you won't ask for what you deserve. You won't see yourself as worthy. You won't see yourself as capable. And when we start to really embrace who we are, the universe really does lay itself at your feet, because you're here in partnership with it. So it needs you to align with your truth. And this is how I work with my clients now all around the world. And if I had listened to that small self, that wanted to say, oh my God, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? Or who are you to want all of that? I'd never be doing what I'm doing now, mm-hmm. because I wouldn't have been able to imagine it. But because I've embraced who I am, and that there is this endless sea of love, energy. I don't have to worry about where it comes from. I just have to keep aligning with it.
As you tell the story, it reminds me of something you said, because Marcy and I, we've known each other since I was in college, and something you said to me that opened up a world for me, I don't even know if you knew, is you always said the secret is when you let go of what doesn't serve you, you have more room for love and to manifest. And everything you're saying just reminds me of that. You let go of the fear and you have room all of a sudden for all of these things. And I think I had not thought that my whole life. It sounds so simple, like just subtract the negative and you have positive. Everyone says it. But when you said that, it just really clicked. And I was like, that's your secret. Because I would go around you and I'd be like, what is this? What, like, there's something here.
Well, first off, you can imagine how thrilled I am to know that I've touched you in such a way. That's number one. And number two, to see you manifesting so incredibly in your life. It is so powerful for me to see you in your power. It's like, yes, she is really rocking it.
Oh,
and it just gives me so much joy. And it's joy that, of course, is the inspiration for all of creation.
It's everyone's like, oh, all you need to do is believe in yourself. All you need to be is happy. But it's really true. That's like, even you're saying, ask the universe. It's like, if you want a raise at work, you have to tell your boss that you have to show them why you deserve a raise. You have to believe you deserve one. And you have to be confident. And then you get one. It's the same thing with the universe. You have to say what you want, ask for it, and believe in it.
And I'm going to add one more thing to that whole scenario. You also have to be able to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Because your worth, your value cannot rest on what somebody else either is capable of seeing or not. So, in other words, what often happens is that people will rev themselves up, right? So I deserve this and that, and then the raise doesn't come. And then they start beating themselves up or doubting themselves. So part of this also is that we have to recognize that our worth, our value doesn't rest on the results that we're seeing, because there's no time or space when it has to do with energy. What we can do, of course, is we can increase that momentum so that things start to happen in the speed of light by adding more light.
Mm-hmm.
But often what happens is we get disappointed quickly and we go into a downward spiral, and then the energy gets dense. So our job is constantly to be aware of the belief that is generating the energy and make certain that we are tweaking it so that we get the results that we want. And don't be disturbed if it doesn't happen in the time frame that you've set out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really important. So we don't put time limits on results, but we do put time limits on our actions.
Mm-hmm.
Because our actions are powerful. It's the only thing that really is an escalator when it comes to energy going out into the universe, that you, of course, want to be activated and come back to you 10,000-fold and more.
I think what you just said there, so many people, it's going to light a bell in their head, just like what you've done for me, because I see so many people saying, oh, but I didn't manifest this then, and why isn't this working? And it's so true, the difference between your action and manifestation. Like, we can put a timestamp on what we're doing. We have to make sure we're putting in the effort, but then you have to send the message out, and you need to give it time to get back to you. And really, we can't attach ourselves to monetary things or necessarily physical things to make us happy, because really what's going to make us happy is ourselves. And that's kind of what the law of attraction is teaching us. It's really, we generate our own happiness, and we don't need any of these things to be happy. And when you don't need those things, that's when abundance will come to you.
You're right. You're exactly right. The law of attraction is a system that's there to assist us in our journey of evidence about how loved and cherished we are by the universe.
Mm-hmm. It's really all about love.
It is.
We only have a few minutes left. So what's the biggest message you want to leave people with?
Okay. I think the biggest message is your job in this world is to keep saying yes, even when you don't know what you're saying yes to. Okay. And the reason for that is in our limited belief systems, we don't know what's possible. Like I said, who would have ever imagined that I'd be doing what I'm doing? In the moment that I was imagining my future, it was limited based on what I could see for myself. And this is where we must cultivate the trust that we are each here with a purpose. And that purpose will unfold as we keep aligning ourselves with the highest vibrational frequency. So all of that you want in your life, all of that prosperity and abundance and joy and creativity and freedom and love, it's all in that same energy wave. It's in a high vibrational frequency, and our job is to constantly be aware that one part of us is a human part and the ego tries to control it and keep us there. And the other part of us is this creative force that is meant to step into our truth and create from this place of purpose and intention and alignment with everything that is our divine selves.
I'm like, I feel chills just like listening to you. It just shows how, you know, whoever's watching this was attracted to this video, and just like how I knew you. People always ask me, how do you know these people? How do you get to these opportunities? And I'll just be like, you get to this point where you can feel that vibration, and you're just like, I need to surround myself with you because you are going to help my vibration stay and grow. And you just, it's like a magnet.
It is a magnet, and you're right. And that's part of our responsibility to ourselves as loving ourselves, is to make certain that we are surrounded by those who help to feed our energy field, because we are the only ones who are responsible for it. And we're also the ones who are responsible for aligning with our purpose and constantly being more expansive in our presence in this world. And the reason we do that is because the more expansive that we become, the more love can extend itself through us. And we see it in the creations that flow directly from what we are doing.
The secret is really within ourselves. We just need, it's always been there. We just need to plug into it. Electricity's there. To make it work, you have to plug in the TV. You have to plug in to this, but it is abundant and available to all of us. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. Can you let everyone know where they can find you, learn more from you, get some of your amazing products, and help support your manifestations along with supporting their own?
Thanks. I'd love to. So 2 websites. One is HeartShiftCoach.com. And there are all my podcasts, and you can learn more about me and my coaching programs, etc. And the other one is selfloveuniversity.com, filled with all kinds of digital products and lots of information for manifestation. And I'm here to support you in everything that you are doing. Nothing is too big or too small. And it's my greatest joy and my honor to be here with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you. You guys, please go follow her. I'm just so lucky we exist in the same lifetime, because there's only, I mean, you're really one of the only people in the world I've ever met that truly lives on this level of consciousness. And I hope to be able to get there someday to be like you. And I'm just so grateful that I can show you to others. This amazing person that's like a once in a lifetime person you get to meet. So
thank you, Lindsay.
So much for coming. I'm going to link everything below, and we will see you guys next time for the next Dose of Bliss. Bye.
Bye.